Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am sharing with you my diary entry for the week of February 12th through 18th. Today is Saturday, February 18th. So this week, I had the Monochrome Manga Club meeting, and I told you last week that I might take you for some manga shopping. Well, I didn't do that. I had my camera and everything, and I didn't film at all. It was kind of rushed at the end of the night, and we weren't picking up very much, and so I just didn't film. I have had a very stressful week, but I'll talk to you more about that at the end of the video. Until then, I do have some reading to talk to you about. I've finished a few things. I have started something, and then I can update you on my blanket of reads, and that's pretty much it. So let's get into it. So last week I actually did finish something, and I forgot to tell you about it. I forgot I even finished it. And I'm only going to talk about this briefly, but I finished Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. I enjoyed this one. I didn't enjoy it as much as I had remembered. It's been quite a while since I've read this series. I have noticed in this one that there is commentary on overweight people that is not nice. And so I wasn't as aware of things like that when I had read it. Like I said, I think it's been over a decade since I've read this series. It might even be 2. But yeah, it's definitely stood out to me on this read through, and it didn't make me very happy. And I did lower my rating to a 4-star. I did quite enjoy this one still. There were a lot of things in the book that I didn't remember happening, because at this point I'm much more familiar with the movies. But I did enjoy it. I listened to it on audiobook. And yeah, so I'm going to continue to read this series this year because, like I said, it's been quite a while since I've read through it. And I wanted to see if my thoughts have changed on this series since I've rated it last. And obviously, at least with this one, it has. So that's that one. Now, as far as this week goes, I did also finish another book. I finished Living Dead in Dallas, which is the second book in the Sookie Stackhouse series by Charlaine Harris. In this one, Sookie is investigating 2 different mysteries. So the first one being the murder of her co-worker, which happens at the very beginning of this book. And then a little bit later in the book, she ends up investigating a mystery of a missing vampire. So in regards to her co-worker, that character was actually an LGBT character, and a lot of the commentary that was said, not from Sookie, but other people mentioned in this story, was derogatory, and I did not enjoy that at all. I don't understand why that stuff has to be in books. It seemed like Sookie was the only one that was concerned about who had murdered her co-worker, and it was hurtful and it was sad, and I did not enjoy that. I almost thought that she wasn't going to be investigating the murder of the co-worker because it's kind of mentioned in the beginning and all the derogatory stuff comes out, and then she gets involved in this case for the missing vampire. But in the end, after the case about the missing vampire gets resolved, she goes back to trying to find out who had murdered her co-worker. I think I mentioned this to you last week, that I had watched the first season and a little bit of the second season of True Blood. And I thought that the character that gets killed off at the beginning of this series here was alive throughout the whole first season. So I was really surprised when that character gets killed off at the beginning of this one. And a little bit sad because I enjoyed that character in the first season. But yeah, this was okay. It was entertaining. I ended up giving it 3 stars. It's definitely not going to be a series that I reread, but I do own a majority of the series, if not all. So this will be just one of those that I go back to when I get like my TBR prompt for it and just leisurely enjoy it as it comes up. I don't think this is going to be one where I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to get to the next one. If like I get a prompt for a readathon that one of these books would fit into and it comes to mind at the time, sure, I'll read it. It's not one of those series where I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to drop the whole thing. I'm kind of lukewarm on this series right now, but it's not to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to DNF the entire series. So they're enjoyable. I kind of want to see what happens with Eric. And I want to see how this story ends, because I know this has an end, and I kind of know a little bit of the end. It was kind of something that you couldn't avoid seeing spoilers of when True Blood ended. So if that happens at the end of the series, I'm curious to see how that comes about and why. So yeah, it was just okay, 3 stars. The other things I read this week were all of the Monochrome Manga Club selections because, like I said, we had our meeting. So, we read Sasaki and Miyano, Volume 1 by Shoharu Sono, published by Yen Press, rated teen, and Romantic Killer, Volume 1, which is by Wataru Momose, published by Viz, rated teen. I just filmed my series first impressions video on this, so you should already see it on my channel. I'll link it down in the description box below in case you're interested in my thoughts on this one. I also touched on my thoughts on Erased Volume 1, since this was the first in a series by Kei Sanbei. This is published by Yen Press, rated teen. So I talk about all 3 of these in that video. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that, check out the video, which is linked down in the description box below. But I will talk to you about the other 2 things that I read this week, which were Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Volumes 15 and 16 by Koyoharu Gotouge, published by Viz, rated teen. So I am continuing to enjoy the series. Like I said, the series for me seems more like training, and then, you know, we kind of get a fight, and then we're back to training, and then we get a fight, and then we're back to training. At the beginning of Volume 15, we're kind of still in the training. And then I think in the middle of Volume 15 or so, we kind of go into a fight. And I think this fight is going to be a long one. We're heading towards the end. We are heading towards the end. We're not very close to the end yet. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of fighting and not any more time for training from here on out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this series concludes. I'm looking forward to next month's volumes because I'm very curious to see what happens after where we ended off in Volume 16. It's just so interesting. Some character deaths in this Volume 16. I'm not sure if there's going to be any more. I'm kind of hoping there won't be. You already know that the character death previously really pulled on my heartstrings, and it still does every time I see that character show up. We did actually end up finishing watching the anime, so we watched all of the anime that has been released so far. So through the Entertainment District arc, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the Swordsmith Village arc that's coming out later this year. And yes, really, really enjoyed these. Both 5-star reads. I guess I will tell you, I rated Sasaki and Miyano 4 stars, Romantic Killer 4 stars, and Erased 4 stars. So, yes, it was a pretty good reading week. And then, since I finished Living Dead in Dallas and I was listening to it on audiobook, started a new audiobook. I started Crave by Tracy Wolff. This is the sequel to Crush. So it's the second book in the Crush series. I read Crush, I think in October for the Camp Crystal Lake readathon. And I really enjoyed it. It definitely kind of gave me the same kind of feels like I had when I first read Twilight all those years ago. And it even like pokes fun at itself because Twilight is mentioned in that book. And I thought it was just very entertaining. And something happens at the end of that one where I was like, wait, what happened? And so I've been really meaning to get back to it. And I had seen that somebody's hosting like a Crave Along. Did I get that mixed up? I think the one I'm reading is Crush. And the series is actually called Crave. So that's the first book. I think that's right. You'll see it here. So yes, I've started listening to that one on audiobook. It's available on Hoopla. And I'm about 9% in. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of a fluff read for me. Just something very entertaining. Not something that needs a lot of thought. Because that's what I need right now with how stressful my work has been. I've talked to you before. I do listen to audiobooks on my lunch break to kind of de-stress. And I also play a video game while I'm de-stressing. And so, yes, it's perfect thing for me to be listening to right now. And I'm quite enjoying it. So besides that, I did also pick up the last thing I needed to read for my TBR game, which was Bleach Volume 12 of the 3-in-1 edition. This is volumes 34, 35, and 36. I have read 2 of the 3 volumes. So I've read all of this, and this is the last volume in this omnibus. I'm quite enjoying this. We are still in Hueco Mundo. A big fight's coming with lots of the captains and things, and so I'm looking forward to that. It should start in the next volume. I have watched this part of the anime, but it's been a while, which is why I'm kind of wanting to do this read a watch along with my daughter. And so, yes, it was really, really entertaining. I quite enjoyed myself reading this. So I'll probably finish up this last volume tonight and then maybe pick up the next one. Because as of right now, I have no credits to spend for my manga buying project. And so I kind of want to have a couple credits at least. And if I finish 2 of these omnibuses, there's 3 volumes in it, I'll have 3 credits. Because there'll be 6 volumes in total. So I'll have 3 credits to spend, which means I can buy 3 volumes of manga. And so, yes, I really am enjoying my read along of Bleach. And then once I get a little bit of Bleach read, my daughter and I can continue our watch along. And so I really want to do that as well. And yeah, as far as my reading goes, that's everything. I can update you on my blanket of reads. I did not knit very much at all this week because I have been dealing with a little bit of pain in my arms and my wrists. I'm not quite sure why, but it's been very sore. And so I haven't put in very many stitches. But this is where I was last. So I put in another volume of Blue Exorcist, and I'm putting in my 5th volume. So this is my 5th volume. I need one more panel like this to complete all the Blue Exorcist volumes that I read in January. And so, yeah. It's kind of deceiving because this panel looks a lot longer than this panel. It's just because they're 2 different brands of yarn. But both are the same number of rows. So, yeah, because I gave all of these volumes 4 stars. So, that's where I am with that. Not very much to talk to you about on that. I'll hopefully get a few more rows in this week. Because hopefully this week won't be as stressful as last week. So my coworker was out all week this past week. And so on Monday, I was covering 3 desks, my desk and my 2 other coworkers. And then on Tuesday through Thursday, I was covering 2 desks. And just a lot of unexpected things came up this week. And it was a big mess. And I wasn't able to do any of my own stuff again. So I'm I'm now behind. I did get all the computers switched out, at least for all the employees. So that's good. But again, that took away time from my desk, and it's just a mess right now. The only one left to switch out is my boss, but IT is going to help him. So I don't have to worry about that one. So that's great. That is really great. But yeah, this week, not good at all. I wasn't feeling well. I had a migraine yesterday. It was like a full day migraine. It was really, really bad. And you know, today I kind of didn't want to film. It took me a really long time to like get my butt in gear and get all of this done, because I knew I had a lot to film, because I only film on Saturdays. And I knew I had a lot to film, and I just wanted to play video games. I wanted to relax, and I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't, because there are things that need to be done, especially with me, you know, helping to host March Mystery Madness. And so, yeah, it'll get better eventually. I just need to allow myself to say, okay, you can only do so much. You are only one person, and it'll eventually get done. I don't know why that's so hard for me, but it is. It's probably because my dad's such a workaholic. But yeah, I just need to take one step at a time. And if I need to ask for help, I need to do that. And I think I will definitely need to do that this week, because it's just been crazy. It's been crazy. The whole thing with the car, you know, at the beginning of the year, my car got totaled. That's still not taken care of. But it should be. It should be soon. And then I got to deal with taxes. I always try to get my taxes done in March. Because I don't like to leave things to the last minute. And I figure I can't really like relax until I get my taxes taken care of at the beginning of the year. It's kind of weird for me. So I need to get that done too. But yeah. Hopefully this coming week will be better. On Monday is actually a holiday, so we aren't working on Monday, which is great. So maybe I'll get to relax a little bit on Monday, but we shall see. Because I filmed a lot today, I do have a lot of editing that I need to do. But, you know, I just got to take it one day at a time. And so, yeah. Just trying to take breathers and relax as much as I can. And I think that's the best I can do. So that's pretty much all I've got for you this week. Not too much again. I did have some really good and interesting reads this week, so I guess there's that. We finished watching Demon Slayer, so there's that. We started watching National Treasure on the Disney Channel, the new series. That's not as interesting as the movies, unfortunately, but it is interesting and entertaining. I don't find the main character as polished as our characters in the original National Treasure, but I've gotten to the point where Riley has come in as a character, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how this mystery gets solved. I'm really hoping they're going to come back around and research that mystery that was mentioned in the Book of Secrets movie. I'm really hoping they don't drop the ball on that. I was kind of hoping that that's what this series was going to be, but it's not. But I am still really enjoying it. And so, yeah, that's pretty much everything I've got for you this week. Let me know down in the comments below on what you've done over this last week. Have you read any good books? Have you crafted on anything recently? Will you be participating in March Mystery Madness? And if so, what have you chosen to read? I would really love to know. If nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a I guess we'll go with the magnifying glass emoji because that's what I asked for in every other video this week. Emoji down in the comments below. That would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.